Hello, welcome. Just getting set up here. Okay, it's time to go ahead and get started. A little past, actually. I am going to switch to the agenda for today. Welcome, my name is Dan. I forgot to introduce myself. Now, our agenda for today looks like this. One moment. So, getting settled was about 7 minutes. Actually, we took almost 10. No, we took 12. That's okay. First time. So, let me introduce the method here. And I'll be looking around here. There's lots of real estate. So, pardon me if I'm not looking exactly at the camera all the time. So, the approach for this is quite different than other approaches you've probably regularly seen. This was inspired by Lynn McTaggart, and she wasn't a person who was exactly convinced about paranormal things, things unseen. I wouldn't call this paranormal. The word paranormal is usually reserved for things like ghosts and other strange phenomena. I mean paranormal and beyond normal. So Lynn wasn't exactly a convert to those sorts of ideas and those sorts of things, this sort of thinking. But she looked into it. I think she was a reporter. She looked into it and she found that there indeed was some substance to it. There are studies and things that she came across that convinced her that there was something to energetic healing and extrasensory perception, things like this. Things demonstrated in the lab and things that are repeatable. She came up with a group approach, and that's what inspired this format here. Instead of one person, and you can see the third line under introduction there, instead of one person, me, broadcasting the healing intention to everyone watching will also be participants. Why that's important is that way you get a compounding effect with all the people participating, and that's what Lynn sort of settled into and finally came to as a result of all of her exploration. So we're going to have first a group focus, and I'm calling that the one for all, the Three Musketeers approach, the one for all for one. So this is the first part of the Three Musketeers approach, the one for all. So in that modality, what we're going to do is each participant, whether viewing now, viewing later, doesn't matter. Time does not seem to affect these sorts of things, nor does distance. Each person is going to first develop the healing intention, and then once the intention is set, they're going to just release and let it go. It's important to do that in most things. If you're a student or practitioner of manifestation, you know that it's important to set the intention and then sort of just let it go. So we'll set the intention of raising or doubling the health of every single participant in the group, whether they view it now, later, doesn't matter. So double the health of everyone in the group is the overall goal of everything that we're going to be doing. So the one for all, everyone's going to be sort of, if you want to say, broadcasting. Everyone's going to be broadcasting the healing intention at the same time. And at the same time, a co-intent is going to be receiving healing as well. So we're all giving and we're all receiving the healing intention. So we're going to sort of put the group healing intention first and the receiving second for the first one for all section of the Three Musketeers sort of approach. For the second part of the approach, the individual focus, we're going to sort of prioritize receiving the healing intention, but yet at the same time we're going to still be sending or sharing that healing intention. You can sort of think of each part as sharing the intention and creating a sort of a bond between everyone that's participating. Then, so for the second part, then we're going to be primarily receiving but sending at the same time, sharing in both modalities. So that's the one for all, that's the all for one, and then we have the all for all. That's a sort of a modification of the Three Musketeers approach. Did I say Three Amigos earlier? What a great movie. Anyway, Three Musketeers approach. The world focus is everyone is sending healing intention, not only to the participants in the group, but everyone in the world that needs it. And there's a lot of people in the world, there are a lot of people in the world who need it, that's for sure. You can think of the different conflicts that are going on, some very heated right now, and we see that in the news and on the minds of lots of people. There are some conflicts that we don't know about in different parts of the world. There's conflicts going on in almost every part of the world. If you seek that information, you'll find it. And at the end, we'll just wrap up. We'll sort of shake the intention off and sort of recenter and refocus, and just come back to the normal mode of life that we're used to living day to day and on a regular basis. So let me check the time right now, and we have 11:18 New York time. So a little bit behind. That's okay. This is the first broadcast. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch gears. So we're going to start calming the mind. And you can do this any way that you see fit. This is not something that I'm going to dictate to you how you do it. If you don't know how to do it, I can offer some suggestions, but again, don't take my suggestions as the way. There's your way if you have one developed already, and if you don't have one, here's a suggestion. It's very difficult to blank the mind, so we won't try to do that. And in a lot of traditions, they say, don't blank the mind. So what we're going to do is just the simple, if you don't have a method of your own, the simple 3 breaths, one bigger than the last, to sort of stretch the lungs out to, if you're familiar with the vagus nerve that comes all the way from the head all the way through the body and the stomach, you know that a deep breath, especially a few of them, right into the belly, will stimulate the vagus nerve. That is important because it sort of shifts your focus in from, if you are in that angered and fight or flight state, stimulating the vagus nerve through breathing, especially into the belly, is going to take you out of the fight or flight state and into the parasympathetic mode, which is calmness and acceptance and generally being into the moment and receptive and calm and feeling safe. So we'll start with the first breath if you want to do that. If you want to do your own method, again, feel free. So take a deep breath into the belly. If you want to close your eyes, that's fine. Deep breath in. Give it just the slightest pause. And let out. Deep breath number 2 in. deeper than the last. Slightest pause, and let it go. And you don't have to follow my timing, you can follow your timing. Third breath in will be the deepest. Slight pause, and let it go. It should be a little bit more calm now, hopefully. And I hope the audio is working well. It's hard to tell because there's a lot of real estate here. There's a lot to a live stream that you don't see as a participant. There's a lot of real estate here. There's screens of this type, screens of that type. There's some chat over there. There's the camera that you have to pay attention to, and you also have to switch scenes and things in the software. It's a lot of things to take care of. So, again, let's come back to the calm part. Now, we'll take a few minutes, just relax. And silence is okay. We're going to hear some silence a lot throughout this session. And silence is quite acceptable. I know that some people, it can drive you out the wall, but just try to settle in. And we're going to just take a few minutes, relax, and build that healing intention. So if you're a visualizer, which I am not, I don't visualize worth anything. If you're a visualizer, you want to visualize gathering some energy, and a lot of people might visualize themselves bathed in white light or golden light, and then you can sort of gather that into, say, the third eye, which a lot of people ascribe to, or into the dantian, which is the middle to deep belly, and that's an energy center, say, in Chinese traditional healing thinking. So wherever you want to gather that, however you want to foster the healing intention, let's take a few minutes and do that now. We'll take about 3 minutes, I think. And here will be a period of silence. Just let it happen. Some other suggestions for your focus might be to think about what you want for yourself in terms of healing, what you want to share and give to others, your fondness for others. Think of perhaps family, friends, your community. Just fostering good feeling. I'll give 1 more minute. Okay, that's about 1 minute or so. So because we got started late, we will sort of compress the time here. So we'll take about, we're about to go active, so we'll take about 7 to 10 minutes in this group focus phase. So what you would want to do in the group focus phase is to, if you remember what I said earlier, primarily focus on sending the healing intention, sending healing energy to others. If you're a visualizer, you can sort of see yourself broadcasting that to everyone participating. And that doesn't mean everyone participating now necessarily. That could be everyone participating at any time in the future, any place in the world. So primarily focus on sending, broadcasting, but also know that there's a portion of you receiving as well. So that's the group healing, sort of creating that field and that sense of sharing, but you as a primarily as a broadcaster, but it also know that it's coming into you as well. So again, there'll be some silence, and that's okay. If it drives you crazy on your end, if you want to start up a little music or something like that, or if you are sort of like me and you're sort of the restless type, you can move around, that's fine. So we're going to go into that right now for, say, 7 minutes or so. Okay, we'll get started. So things are going to go a little silent now. And forgive me if I chime in from time to time. Try to maintain that focus. If you find yourself drifting away, that's okay. And just come right back to it. Broadcasting to everyone. Okay, a couple more minutes now. Okay. Let's come back to a sort of a lecture mode focus, if you want to call it that. So it's important now to take stock of how that experience was for you. Did you feel anything? Maybe you might feel something later, and take stock of that too. And also recognize what it is again, if you're a visualizer, what kind of visualization did you use to sort of feel connected to the group in that broadcast? And simultaneously receiving. What did you get? I got a little pins and needles in the forehead, things like that. That was interesting. Okay, so we'll get ready to switch gears. So we're going to go, if you see the screen here, to the individual focus. Now this is your time. It's important for this part to think about the kind of healing that you came here for. If it's emotional, if it's physical, or if it's the interplay of emotions and physical. For instance, there's a theory, probably more than a theory, that emotions get stuck in different parts of the body, and to release those emotions fosters healing of that problem that you're having. So, in order to cover all bases, I might suggest that you focus on both emotional and physical healing. Again, we'll calm the mind, but first take stock of what it is that you came here to do, what kind of healing that you want for yourself. And also know that we'll also be sending as well as receiving. So receiving is the primary mode, sending is simultaneously. What's interesting about group healings in this type of mode is the healings still happen, even though that you're receiving. You're thinking not everybody's receiving, how am I getting? If everybody's receiving, how am I getting the healing? It has something to do with the togetherness. It has something to do with if you want to conceptualize it that way, the field that we're creating, that we're actively participating in. And I know I'm stumbling for words here, I apologize, but it's very hard to put into words. You know, you can have that concept that's so difficult to let come out of the mouth, but it's very clear up here, right? So I'm having that trouble right now to just relate how it works. Again, this is a first live stream, so it's going to be a little bumpy as we get going and get used to everything and how it all works and what we're doing. So again, we're going to calm the mind for about 5 minutes, maybe a little less. We're going to have to compress the time a little bit. And then we're going to go into that active mode. So here we go. Things are going to get quiet again. And we'll do this for about, let's check the time, 3 minutes. Okay, here we go. Developing that intention to be healed primarily and to also send healing. Okay, just about 3 minutes, maybe a little less. Now we're going to go into the active mode where you're going to be receiving primarily and at the same time sending. And it's important for me to note as well that healing for you happens at every stage. It's not as if it happens for you just at this one stage. It's just that the focus and the intensity may be a little greater for you at this stage, but it still happens at all stages. All right, active mode. Get ready. Couple breaths. Second. Third, very deep. And receive that from everyone who is participating, who will be participating. note of anything that you're feeling or experiencing. And if you drift off, that's okay. Just come right back. Focusing on receiving, but at the same time sharing the wealth. Two minutes to go. You might want to take a scan of the body, so to speak, from head to toe. What are you feeling in each part? Is there anything different? Focusing on allowing that healing energy, intention to come into you. All right. Now let's come back to the lecture mode. Okay, so that was the individual focus. Again, one more time, take an assessment of what you might have felt, and you can watch this more than once. That only enhances the effect. That's what's very interesting about the group healing modality. So we just did the individual focus, the all for one. Before that was the one for all. Now as we sort of gather ourselves, get our bearings, we'll shift into the third portion, and we only have a few minutes left. The world focus. Now here's what's interesting about the world focus. Now, you will experience healing at all of the stages. It's just the sort of the intensity of the focus on yourself or on others, but it all works. Now the other part is, you don't have to intend this for the world focus for people who are participating. You can intend it for anyone. You can have special people in mind. It might be a friend, it might be a family member, it might be a particular people in a particular part of the world. It doesn't have to be people. It can be animals, it could be pets, it can be environment, it can be trees, it can be anything that you would like to give that intention to. And here's another thing. It's retrocausal. What's that mean? It doesn't have to be from the time that this recording was done. It doesn't have to be in the future. It can also be in the past. If you see studies from, say, Daryl Bem, a long time, Daryl-Bem, a long time researcher, he was able to show effects done in the present that were sort of broadcast into the past. So it was about grades for students. The people in the present were to focus on how, if I might get this wrong, it's been a long time, focus on improving the grades of people that took a test long ago. It's most effective when the results have not come in yet. So in between, say, taking the test and getting results, if a session is done to improve the enhancement of the test taker's performance, that works even better than after the test taker has already received the results. Same thing for people with medical issues. The person sat down, didn't know exactly the outcome for the person that they were sending the healing intent to, but when there's lots of unknowns, the effect works even better. But it still works even when there are knowns. Okay, so we got to get right to this. Let's take a couple minutes. Let's take 2 minutes. We're going to set that intention to give the healing intention to anywhere, anyone, anything, any group. And we'll do that now. And again, they do not have to be participants. you might want to think about it this way. If there is a part of this person or being that wants to be healed, let them be fully healed by this intention. There are some people that do not want to be healed, and that's okay. But we don't want to force anyone. So if there's a part of them that wants it, we will supply the healing intention. Okay, we're going to have to move quickly. It's 4 minutes to the top of the hour. We're going to go into active mode now. Maybe just one breath. And start. Give that intention to the entire world. Special people, places, things, times, situations. Okay, 1 minute. All right, we're going to have to wrap it up. We're a little late getting started. So, see what you experienced during that part, and maybe take a look around when you come out of the session and see if things have changed. It might take some time as well. This has been Power in Numbers Group Healing, and the session is for December 7th, 2023 at 11 p.m. New York time. The next session is 3 p.m. New York time this coming Sunday, the 10th. I hope to see you there. Again, if you watch in the future, time has no bearing, it seems, according to studies on these sorts of things. So the energy is only compounded. So we're very glad that you joined us. Thank you once again. I'm Dan. I'm very grateful to you. We'll see you next time.